Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today I'd like to talk about statements, conditional statements, and biconditional statements in geometry. We give specific meanings to these words in geometry and we shall talk about it. And they all have to do with logical reasoning. In other words, making conclusions from given statements. I'll give you an example here. I said here, I exist, which is true, and I am human. So here's a statement that says I exist and I am human. These are two statements. Now I'm going to make another two statements here, and I'm going to say my pen exists. Yeah, okay. My pen exists, which is also true, let's say. And therefore my pen is human. Now, I hope you appreciate that there's faulty logic here. I exist, I am human. My pen exists, therefore my pen is human. Well, that clearly is not true, because this is not a logical conclusion from the given information. And you might find this kind of silly, but people make logical mistakes all the time. For example, celebrities endorse products in commercials all the time. So if a certain celebrity endorses a certain product, does that make the product inherently better compared to other products of its kind? Not necessarily. There's a logical error there, right? So how come that happens? That's because we fall for the trick. We fall for the trick that there's a logical fallacy and we don't critically analyze such logical fallacies. So in order to think properly, we have to actually see what conclusions are proper, what conclusions are not proper given any particular statements. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So first, I'll give you another statement. Dogs are fishes. That's another silly statement, correct? So this is a statement. First of all, in order to talk about statements, because we can have multiple statements that we're talking about, we can give statements names. So typically statements are named with like letter P, for example. This is a statement called P. So statement P says dogs are fishes. Well, this is not true. So the truthfulness of a statement is called its truth value. Okay? So the truth value of a statement is whether it's true or not. What's the truthfulness of this particular statement? So the truthfulness of this particular statement is that this is false. This is a false statement, right? So this is a false statement. Okay. So statement P is false. What does the statement P says? Statement P says that dogs are fishes. That's clearly not true. You can say anything you want. You can make any statements you want, but every statement you make has a truth value. It's either true or it's either not true. Okay? Now, if I were to say dogs are not fishes, that's the negation of this. Okay? So this statement is called the negation. So the negation of P. So this is a statement that is negation of P. And the way we write negation of P, or the not of P, so to speak, is like this. So we say negation of P. Okay? Now, we don't say negation of P like that. You might think that would make more sense, but that suggests addition, subtraction, etc. But this is not addition and subtraction of sentences like that, right? So instead of using a negative sign here, we just say like squiggly sign, meaning like negation of P. Alright, so the negation of P is like if dogs are fishes, then it says dogs are not fishes. Like if it says, like some kids say, a parent says, it's a beautiful day. Some kids say it's not a beautiful day. It says this is good food. This is not good food. It's like that. So it's negation. So this is called the negation of P. Now, if you notice, dogs are fishes was a false statement. And the negation of this particular statement, dogs are not fishes, is a true statement. And that's always true. And that's always the case. That is, if a statement is false, its negation will be true. And if the statement is true, its negation will be false. All right. So a statement and its negation will be related in opposite fashion like this. If the statement is true, its negation will be false, and the statement is false, its negation will be true. Now, here's another statement. Cats have fur. Well, that's true. Cats have fur. So that's a true statement. So the truth value of this statement is that it is true. So cats have fur. And the negation of this, by the way, would be like negation of Q, the statement Q. Cats do not have fur. But that would be the negation. And as I said, if the statement is true, then its negation will be false. So anyway, so here cats have fur. Now, we can combine these two statements using and or. So we can combine these two statements to make compound statements. So compound statements are two statements put together, and we can put together compound statements using and or. So I'm going to write here. So we have compound, C-O-S, got some funky P's in it. So it's a compound statements. Compound statement is when you combine two statements, and you can make combine two statements using the word and, or you can combine two statements using the word or. When you combine two statements using the word and, this is called a conjunction. C-O-N-J-U-N-C-T-I-O-N. And when you combine two statements using the word or, this is called disjunction right here. So disjunction. Not the best choice of words, I think, personally, but that's what they're called. Conjunction and disjunction. Okay? So when you combine two statements using the word and, that's conjunction. When you combine two statements using the word or, that's called disjunction. So let's combine these two over here. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to combine using conjunction. Okay, so here you go. So dogs, I'm going to combine the dogs and cats here. Alright, so here you go. Dogs are fishes. Alright, and then I'm going to use a conjunction. Okay? And here's that. And cats have fur. Cats have fur. Okay. Now, for a conjunction statement, that's a statement that's combined together with the word and, both of these have to be true for the compound statement to be true. So this is the compound statement, right? So this is the compound statement. For it to be true, this has to be true and this has to be true. So, but since this is false, the whole compound statement, the truth value of the compound statement will be false. We give symbols to these words and or. Okay, we give symbol to these words. The word and is given this particular symbol. It's like, rotated greater than equal to sign, so to speak. So and is written like this, and the word or is written like this. Okay, like a V. So this is or. So we can write this particular statement using those particular symbols. So I can say, for example, okay, dogs are fishes, that's P. So that's P, and cats have fur, that's Q. So this statement can be written as this, okay, P and Q. P and Q. So the compound statements, dogs are fishes and cats have fur, can be written symbolically as this, P and Q. Now, this is a compound statement that is a conjunction. For a conjunction to be true, its truth value to be true, both statements have to be true. So for a conjunction, an and statement to be true, okay, for both have to be true. If both are true, then the conjunction statement will be true, okay, because it's an and statement. Say this statement, as we can rewrite this statement as P and Q like this. So the conjunction statement P and Q, okay, the whole statement would be false because P is false and regardless of what Q is, it happens to be true. But since both have to be satisfied, so this conjunction statement will be false. Now, on the other hand, if I were to write this particular statement, not P, the negation of this, and Q. So this says dogs are not fishes and cats have fur. Now, both of these are true. That's true and that's true. So the conjunction, this particular statement, will have a truth value of true. Okay? So the conjunctions are combinations of statements using the word and. All right. And then we can combine statements using the word or. And here it is. Dogs are fishes or cats have fur. So I can say this is P or Q, like this, right? So this is a disjunction. When you combine two statements using the word or, this is called a disjunction. In other words, either this has to be true or this has to be true. This meaning like not together. They're independent of each other in a way, right? So conjunctions like they're together. Either they both work together or they both don't work together. Disjunction is that they're separate. If one of them is true, then the whole statement would be true in a way. That's how we can potentially perceive of it. So dogs are fishes or cats have fur. Since this is false, but this is true, since one of them is true, the truth value of this disjunction, the truth value, will be true, because Q is true. So even though dogs are not fishes, cats still have fur. So the truth value of this compound statement, the disjunction, is still true. All right. So let's take a look at some more realistic examples here. So here's an example from the textbook. It says, use the following statements to write a compound statement for each conjunction. So each conjunction. Then find its truth value and explain your reasoning. So here we're only doing conjunctions, which is and statements, correct? Okay. So the figure is a triangle. This is actually a true statement, correct? So that's a true statement. The figure has two congruent sides. That is also true. So that's another statement. Statement P here is true. The truth value is that true. The figure has three acute angles. Well, it's a right triangle, so that's 90 degrees, and it has these two acute angles, but not three acute angles, because 90 degrees is not acute. So that's actually a false statement here, correct? So the first two are true, and the third one is false. Okay, so the first part says we're asked to write this compound statement. Okay, P and R. So that's P and R. So to write this, it says P and R. Okay, that's actually first and the third. So this statement would be, the figure is a triangle. Okay, and that's our compound statement, conjunction. Okay, and the figure has three acute angles. The figure has three acute angles. Okay, now, so this compound statement, so this is true, but this is false, correct? So this compound statement will be false, because both have to be true, correct? So this compound statement, right, so P and R, you can write it like this, is going to be false. All right, the second question that we're asked to do is it's not P, it's Q and not R. Okay, there's still an and, so P and Q and not R. So this statement would be as follows. So the figure has two congruent sides. The figure has two, I'm going to congruent sides. I'm going to just use symbols here. The figure has two congruent and not R. See, that says not R. And the figure, okay, has three acute angles. Okay, so we have to say does not. That would be the negation. Okay, does not have three acute angles. Okay, so in this case, the figure has 2, that's correct, that's true, and the figure does not have 3 acute angles, that's also true. So this particular compound statement, this conjunction, so this will be true. So since this is true, and the negation of R is also true. Notice R was a false statement, and the negation of a false statement is true. So we have 2 statements that are true, and both of them are connected here. And since both of them are true, this compound statement, this conjunction will also be true. Okay, here's the example using disjunction. Okay, so instructions are basically the same. Use the following statements to write a compound statement for each disjunction, then find its truth value. Explain your reasoning. Okay, so here it is. So January is a fall month, right? No, it's a winter month, at least here in Chicago. So January is a fall month, so that's a false statement. So the truth value of this is that it is false. January has 30 days. January has 30 days. No, January has 31 days, right? So this is also false statement. January 1st is the first day of a new year, and that's true. Right? January 1st is the first day of the new year. Okay, so we have determined the truth values of each. Now we are going to make compound statements, okay? So here, A says Q or R. So we can rewrite this if you wanted to. If you want to be fancy, you say Q or R like this. Alright, so now I'm just going to read this. So Q or R. So January has only 30 days, or January 1st is the first day of the year. Since this is an or statement, this is a disjunction, only one of them has to be true. So regardless of whether this is true or false, since this is true, this compound statement, this disjunction, will be true. So the truth value of this particular compound statement will be that it is true. Even though it does not have 30 days, it is indeed, January 1st is indeed the first day of the year, so that compound statement will be true. How about this? This one says P or Q. Okay, so P or Q. So January is a fall month, or January has only 30 days. Well, neither of these statements are true. Since neither of them are true, then this compound statement, this disjunction, will be false. So this is false and this is false. You don't have anything to stand upon there. All right, let's see if we can do C over here. C says not P and or R. So this one says not P. So let's write down not P. So not P is January is not, okay, is not a fall month. Okay, that's true. Correct? That January is not a fall. Now, you take a false statement, you make it true. So this is true now. And or, so because this is a or, this is a disjunction, or R, or January 1st is the first day of a new year. Now, regardless of what the second statement is, happens to be true, correct? But we only need one true for a statement for this to be a compound statement to be true. But since this is true and this happens to be true also, the entire compound statement, this disjunction will also be true. Okay, so this is how this is the basics regarding statements. So we have learned that statements are labeled here with capital, named with lowercase letters, and the negation is written as like negative P. And then we can combine statements using either conjunction, that's an and, or a disjunction, that's an or. Inshallah, we shall build this in our second part. Until then, as-salatu was-salamu ala rasulillah walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum.